I'm in the capital region to travel the Star-Spangled Byway. I'm starting my journey in the capital itself, Washington, D.C., and my very first stop is the museum. As a journalist, it's a museum I've always wanted to visit.
It's a museum of news, as the name implies. You know, we have the term called a news junkie. This is the perfect place for a news junkie. But I also like to say this is really a history museum, and it's history as seen through the lens of the media. It really takes you back to moments that you might remember in your own history. These are literally today's front pages. We get about 800 sent to us every morning. Well, now we're going back in time. We're going to go to our News History Gallery, which features over 300 front pages dating back to the 16th century. This is a walk through history. You're seeing the evolution of newsprint. So the really earliest things we have on display are illustrations, our news books, and you're really seeing the evolution of what we know today as newspapers. 16th century history all the way up to current day. Journalism is not perfect, so we do take a warts and all attitude about journalism right here in this area, and we have films that discuss bias in the newsroom and objectivity and straight out plagiarism that still occurs today. More and more often now, breaking news is happening online, and not just from the traditional news sources. We have a circle here that talks about the plane that landed in the Hudson River.
Yeah.
That was one of the first stories where it was first reported on Twitter.
Yes.
A person who was near the scene took a picture, put it on his site, and he beat the AP by 15 minutes. That's becoming more and more common.
Great example of citizen journalism, I guess you would call that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm at a place I've always really wanted to come. This is the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, which is the United States' main cultural center. And as someone who studied theatre at university and the performing arts for years and years, it's somewhere that I've always heard a lot about. It's the real sort of pinnacle of achievement for a performer to actually come and perform here. So to have the chance to see it for myself is really, really special. So I'm off now to meet John, who's the spokesperson for the center, to find out a bit more about it.
The Kennedy Center was initially established by law in 1958 by President Eisenhower. This is a presidential memorial, the only presidential memorial to President Kennedy in the nation's capital. We have 2,000 performances here each year. We have 2 million audience members. And on top of that, another 1 million people come every year just to see the building itself. We have 7 theaters and 9 stages. It's a very large facility, 1.5 million square feet. No matter what, we have a free performance every single day of the year. This performance lasts about an hour, and it is streamed live on our website.
I see. So this really is the pinnacle of achievement for people. To perform here would be a real honor.
I would absolutely agree with that.
What's most surprising about the Kennedy Center is the sheer size of the place. It's absolutely vast. The ceilings are huge, everything is just enormous. And yet, as soon as you go into one of the performance spaces, it's actually a really intimate experience, and the vibe is just really, really lovely. So after reading about it yesterday at the museum, today I'm at the Hillwood Estate Museum and Gardens. This was the home of the fabulously wealthy Marjorie Merriweather Post. Let's go and find out more about the life of luxury that she led here.
Well, welcome to Hillwood, a place I lovingly call DC's Downton Abbey during the Mad Men era. Marjorie Post was the majority shareholder of General Foods Corporation. Her father founded the company with cereal, the Postum Cereal Company. And then in the 1920s, they had acquired some products they thought that, might have a long-lasting financial capability in the American market. So they picked up a coffee named Maxwell House, Hellman's mayonnaise, and then something called Jell-O. Well, of course, these products did fabulously well. We all know now. So it became General Foods Corporation in 1929. Wow, okay. And this enabled Marjorie to have this amazing lifestyle. She was only in her late 20s. I think as you walk around Hillwood, it'll be abundantly clear she knew how to enjoy herself.
Stella, I think I probably know what these are. These are Fabergé eggs, right?
Yes, in fact, Hillwood is a destination for those who love Fabergé, and we're very lucky we have 2 prime Fabergé eggs in the collection. Up here is the pink 1914 Catherine the Great egg, and then we have the blue monogram egg over here to the right. In fact, even this case is made by Fabergé.
Back in the time that Marjorie actually lived here herself, presumably things wouldn't have been displayed like this.
She loved to look at her own collection, and she loved to share it with other people. So the display cabinets, the pull-out drawers with information, the Fabergé case, these are all from her lifetime, so you could easily enjoy her collection while you came here for dinner or you came for a garden party.
So what a lot of people don't realise is that Washington actually does have its own river, the Potomac. Although I've spent all day on land today, I've heard that from the water is a really great way to see the city.
Tonight we're going to begin at the top of the Washington Channel. We're going to be heading south around Haines Point, turning back up northward, and ultimately proceeding up towards Georgetown Channel. There we'll take approximately an hour and a half, and approximately an hour and a half back.
So I've had a fantastic time in Washington DC, and the city's so much more than what I thought it was going to be. Tomorrow morning it's time to pick up the car and head off on the Star-Spangled Banner Byway into Maryland.